last weekend, they were the two scores right next to each other for every single map that they played last weekend. So
Yeah, I think within 100k or less on every single map they played together, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, there's definitely some high variance in some of the scores that you see, though. For example, China and Countryless West had the second worst and worst scores on Nomad 1 and 2, respectively. But China had like the best score on Nomad 4, for example, the best score on Nomad 6. Countryless West having the second best score on Hard Rock 3, in a map that was played in 6 separate matches. That really says a lot about how strong they were for that pick. A lot of the top scores on the DT maps for both teams as well. So, yeah, very, very strong teams, both of these, with, I think, some very clear strengths and weaknesses that actually go right up against each other's strengths and weaknesses in this matchup. So, definitely going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, bans as well. I mean, we had a DT1 ban on both sides, which is also something interesting to note. Both teams banning out DT1 on their second ban, but Countryless West opting to ban out the Nomad 1 on their match last week. So curious to see if we maybe see any kind of aim-oriented bans come out. Clearly, neither of the teams were wanting to play that DT aim last week, so I'll be interested to see what they decide to ban out this time around. China banning out the Hidden 3 as their second ban last week as well, so something to look at if Countryless West are maybe comfortable on that AR8 Hidden. It looks like we're going to be skipping the warm-ups. Yeah, we don't have warm-ups, so
Yeah.
going to be getting straight into our picks and bans very shortly.
Yeah, I'm expecting, honestly, just kind of like comfort picks and bans for both of these teams, right? Like, you have two teams who are both really good at the same types of things. I think maybe you see China ban out Speed against Countryless West, arguably one of the best Speed teams left in the tournament overall. I think if we had seen a much better performance from the US, we would have seen them do a lot better on Speed. But for example, Countryless West matching Australia on Speed last weekend. Two teams that are pretty well known for being very, very strong on Speed overall. So I think you're likely to see China ban that out against Countryless West. And maybe some bans into the Nomad pool for Countryless West here. China very, very strong at the tech, for example, at Nomad 6 that we talked about as well. But Nomad 6 this weekend, a pretty well-known map, Tabi Toferi, so maybe we see it left up instead.
Just getting into the roles now, missing our picks and bans shortly. But yeah, Countryless West, like you mentioned, matching Australia on Speed and actually knocking Australia out of the tournament, which it's an unfortunate early exit for a team as strong as Australia. But I mean, Countryless West taking them down 6-3 and, like you said, matching them on, a lot of these speed maps where Australia, on paper, you would look at them and they're probably one of the best speed teams in this tournament. And I mean, yeah, Countryless West putting up one hell of a fight, and China, on the other hand, getting knocked down into the loser bracket by France by only 1 point on the tiebreaker. And mind you, I think it was something like a 15k difference on that tiebreaker, so very possible we could have seen France in this position, but we are going to be seeing China nonetheless.
Yeah, China, one of the teams, I think, who was favored to win the tournament at the outset. Just a very, very strong overall roster for this team. Looking at the initial roster for this team that doesn't have all of the... oh, no, this one still has all of the LOL name changes on it. All right. Roster for China right now, Lolo235, Crystal, Lolo234, and Lolo233. Lolo233, formerly known as Milk Tea, Lolo234, formerly known as Ebisuzawa Kurumi, and Lolo235, formerly known as David Q2 or Genshin Phobia. So yeah, David, Kurumi, Milk Tea, Crystal, My Angel Anzu, and Shizaki Kanon. Those first four players have done the majority of the heavy lifting for China, and they frankly were kind of expected to do the majority of the heavy lifting for China anyway. Crystal and Milk Tea in particular, those two players really the super strong duo for China that has been really tearing up the tournament.
So you're telling me we're gonna have a great time casting here with 3 different lols to
Yes.
to unfortunately name.
Of course.
Hopefully we don't see all 3 on at once. That would be that would be a bit ridiculous. Oh, we're gonna be getting into our first bans here now, and it's gonna be Countryless West banning out this Hard Rock 2, sorry, and China banning out the Nomad 5.
Yeah, basically instant ban on the Nomad 5 from China. They know exactly what they want to ban out. Hard Rock 2, Countryless West taking their time with that ban. This Hard Rock 2, mostly like alti slider aim type of stuff in Hard Rock. I think as opposed to the alti flow aim stuff with some sliders in Hidden 2. That map really focused just on like high velocity sliders and slider velocity changes all over the place. So worried still about some of the gimmicky stuff coming out of China there for Countryless West, sort of in line with what we were talking about with maybe the Nomad 3, Nomad 4, or Nomad 6 bans.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can also see maybe Countryless West just kind of banning that one out as kind of like a discomfort sort of ban, rather than maybe thinking China will do extremely well on it. Because yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a gimmicky, bit of a unique ban to go ahead and insta take out of the pool. So maybe just something they're not feeling good on. Maybe the aim consistency side of things on some of those hard rock, funnier hard rock maps could be something they're struggling with, especially with the double aim ban from last week. But they got to be going for that Nomad 6, like you said here. The kind of gimmicky maps, China is really strong on those Nomad 4s, those Nomad 6s. And they're going to be taking out the Nomad 6, followed up by the DT3 ban by China, of course. Going into that speed again, getting rid of it.
And we actually already have our first pick also from China now. Is going to be the... I'm sorry, Hidden 3 pick. This map is hard. This map is really hard. The low approach rate Hidden map this weekend. AR8 Hidden with 1-6 bursts and alt flow aim patterns in it. I mean, that is a lethal combination. If you are not really comfortable with that low approach rate on a map like this, you are just going to struggle to keep any combo whatsoever. Let alone accuracy. Just note locking and chain missing on some of the alt patterns plus 1/6 in this map is so easy to do. So I think a very good first pick from China after the bans out on Nomad 6 and Hard Rock 2 from Countryless West. Really, I think both of these teams slotting into the exact type of maps that they want to pick within this match.
Yeah, I agree with thinking this is a pretty good pick, like right off the bat, but interesting to see as well as a first pick, just, you know, looking at the fact that China actually banned the AR8 last week, but I mean, this could just be because of France being extremely comfortable on it. So, you know, that was potentially the reason they were going to be taking that one out last week. China, of course, always a really comfortable AR8 Hidden team. I think everyone knows that, especially when you're seeing players on this roster from the OWC roster. Very comfortable AR8 team in general. But, you know, in saying that, Countryless West actually playing the AR8 in their match last week and getting a score of 2.665 million. So that is nothing to scoff at, especially on a 3-man roster. That's almost a 3-way FC. So this could be a close one.
Well, we'll just have to see exactly how it goes for this map. To your point, though, I think if there is a team in this tournament that you can look at and say, yeah, that team is probably the single strongest team at Hidden, it would probably be France, right? I mean, that France roster is kind of ridiculous on Hidden.
Ekoro,
Ekoro, Musty, Hipkill, Thunder, you don't play Hidden against that team. So I think banning it out against that team in particular is pretty well advised, and likely the reason why China did it against that team, whereas Countryless West, very much the focus on mechanics is there with this team. You do have a lot of players who are well-rounded enough to do well on certain other picks, like, for example, some of the players we see in right now, Hammy, Wolfie, and Revo in particular on the Hidden maps, I think, are very good. You typically expect to see Riot and Unexpected in on a lot of maps for this team as well, where, you know, you're looking for those all-rounders, but yeah, first pick of the match here, China versus Countryless West. China's first pick on this one.
Yeah, already going to see really early on with, like you mentioned, difficulty of this kind of air raid hit. And this is not easy in the slightest. And we can see already, I thought it was a 3-way reset on the side of China, but one of them was Bancho. It's going to be 2 FCs dropping on the side of China. Lolo235 holding onto his FC, but still got the 2-way FC on Countryless West side. Wolfie struggling very early on the accuracy side of things. Other than that, everyone else, accuracy looking kind of nice. Oh, there goes Wolfie.
You see the reset for Wolfie, so that's basically even combo at this point. A little bit of an extra combo advantage for China on Lolo234, but Crystal breaking that supporting combo swings it right back in the favor of Countryless West. Ramon 2, Hammy TR now breaking, and that is a 3-way reset right afterwards. 4-way reset. Okay, nobody has combo. Nobody has any combo. This is what I was talking about with this map. I mean, you combine the flow aim alt patterns in this pick with the 1/6 bursts, and you just get recipe for disaster from basically everybody. Crystal, the only player to hold on to the combo in this section. Wolfie was holding a little bit there, but broke it just afterwards. And it's that extra combo from Crystal that actually gives China an about 80,000 score lead, 70,000 score lead here going into the last quarter of the map now.
This is ridiculous. Are we watching Hippo Cup right now? I feel like this is a no mod 6, just A-rate hidden slapped on it. Like, this is ridiculous. The fact that Crystal even managed to pull up that combo, I mean, it's going to be doing wonders for his team, but impressive from him nonetheless. It's going to put him about 100k in the lead just from that solo performance from Crystal in the midway through that map. And we are starting to close out now, and it looks like China's pretty much done enough. There's no combo anywhere to speak of. That's pretty much going to close things out for China for their first pick.
And look at the accuracy from Lolo235 as well on that map. 380k for David on that map there. 95.68% accuracy. 2% higher than both Crystal and Kurumi on his team. So far and away better accuracy for China than for Countryless West, and that does make a big difference when you've got everybody fighting for scraps of combo in a map like that. The accuracy really does start to add up on that type of pick when you have, for example, 7300s versus 1700s for certain players, right? That is a massive difference.
Yeah. I mean, Lolo235 with that really early combo alongside Ramon 2. You know, really putting up those big scores for their team, because I mean, the start of that map was, even though it was extremely difficult, was probably the easiest part to combo. So the consistency pulling through there for those 2 players, and yeah, I mean, just doing enough to pull them over the line. The big scores, because you know, on a map like that where you can't get any sort of combo really throughout the middle and the ending of the map, just because of the sheer difficulty, like those early combos really matter a lot.
All right, going with the double time 2 pick now for Countryless West after a really tough time on Hidden 3. I think a map like this makes a lot of sense for them. A little bit of an odd pick for double time 2 here. Big focus on finger control in this pick. Mapped by Mirage, you kind of expect to see that focus on finger control here. Much higher BPM finger control than what you saw on Hidden 3, however. AR 9.67, so AR 8 before DT, and 232.5 BPM after double time on this map. So we're going to see how well this pick works out for Countryless West. I think if it's anything like last weekend, they should have a pretty good time of this map. They were, you know, some of the top scoring teams on both double time 2 and 3, and it's part of the reason why they were able to knock out Australia last weekend.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a lot of different speed and stamina players, generally their finger control is pretty good. So Countryless West going to this pick makes complete sense. Obviously, they're all very good speed players, good stamina players, and they're probably comfortable in the finger control. I think maybe that kind of lower performance on the Hidden 3 can maybe come down to the reading aspect of things. All in all. So I think finger control wise, probably going to be sitting pretty here on this one. But we are going to be seeing some early breaks from Wolfie and down at China. Not faltering, except for Crystal, they're going to be breaking as well. Ramon 2 as well dropping the FC for Countryless West, and that's a 3-way reset on their side.
And not the best early start to it for Countryless West here. The accuracy certainly not painting a good picture for them either here at the beginning of this map. 97% for Milk Tea over on the side of China. Lolo233 over on their side, and all around better accuracy for China at the moment. So this is definitely not going the way that I think Countryless West would have wanted it to out of the gate. The combos are still there for China. They're going to have to just hope that some mishaps happen from the side of China in order to come back in this map. But you know, at the semifinals level, you do not expect the two-way or three-way full combo here from China. So very likely for that to occur. It's just going to come down to how well the rest of the team can hold until that point. And unfortunately, Wolfie not able to do so.
Yeah, everyone was just tearing it up. Everyone getting over a 500 combo until Woofie's going to be the first to drop. And that's going to rocket the score over to China. Ram on 2 as well. But Lolo234 going to be dropping the first FC on the side of China. Actually, excuse me, Crystal with an early break. But 2 huge combos on the side of China now. You know, just only 1 on the side of Countryless West. Done it. Very important he holds on to this FC. As we are halfway through the map now. Well, pretty much an FC. We had early breaks on the side of Countryless West, but...
And unfortunately...
Score lead. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, unfortunately, Dannit, the only combo on the side of Countryless West, going to see exactly that he has to hold on here. Probably not very good for the nerves. China going to see that they have multiple high combos compared to only Dannit as well. Crystal, though, breaking on the Buzz Slider... gives at least a chance at a comeback, but Ramon 2 breaking again, and there's just, I don't think, enough combo on Wolfie here to bring this back at all. Really, it's just gonna, I think, stay on the side of China unless we see disaster for Milk Tea right now.
Yeah, with that break from Ramon 2, that's pretty much gonna seal things. I mean, maybe there was a chance, maybe there was hope if he held on to that combo, but I mean, there's just not enough here for Dannit really to pull it over, and especially with that break, that is absolutely gonna seal it. It's going to be giving China the first break point of the match and putting them up to 2-0 as Lolo233 here, all eyes on him as he continues to hold onto this FC in a very impressive fashion, but no, I've just cursed him. Immediately he breaks. I mean, but this ending is ridiculous. What are these doubles?
And I think it's just an unfortunate set of maps here for Countryless West. With Nomad 5 and DT3 really being the only 2 traditional speed maps in this pool. This Double Time 2 really not being your typical sort of speed stamina sort of pick, only focused on finger control here. And with Double Time 4 being relatively similar, largely a high approach rate finger control test and test of bunches of different types of burst at that higher approach rate. You're really looking for Countryless West to go all in on the finger control for these types of remaining speed maps if they want to try to abuse that. But China's very, very good at that. They have players who are very, very strong, even on that higher approach rate finger control, especially if it's only AR8 DT. And so unfortunately, the pick ends up backfiring for Countryless West, and you have the current result 2-0 for China. And I think a little bit unfortunately for Countryless West, there are a lot of gimmick maps left up in this pool. You've got the Hidden 2 remaining for China in this pool. You've got things like the Nomad 3 and Nomad 4, both of which Countryless West did not have a great time of either last week or in qualifiers, if you're looking to that for some data. So there's a lot of places where China can look to, and I think Countryless West probably going to be trying to find a different set of maps to look at rather than something like the DT4.
Yeah, and I mean, not a bad pick from Countryless West. Like, I don't want to come out and say it was a bad pick whatsoever. It's just one of those unfortunate things where maybe the pool just isn't quite favoring them this weekend. And, you know, they've gone for that DT2 still in the hopes that, you know, their speed and stamina is going to pull them over the line. But, you know, a team like China, they're not bad at speed by any means. And it's just unfortunate for Countryless West there. Maybe a bit too much finger control going into that one. And China, of course, not a bad speed team in the slightest. And you add that finger control into the mix, and I mean, they've pulled through a pretty incredible score with almost 1 FC on the board there, which is nothing to scoff at on a semi-finals pool. But it is going to be... Which map is this? It's not in the chat.
This is the Hard Rock 3 pick.
Hard Rock 3.
From China. Not sure why it did not show up in the chat there.
Yeah,
hopefully a refresh fixes that, but no, it did not. Okay, fantastic. Not sure why
I
this
just
is
realized
happening.
it's on the overlay there anyway.
Yeah,
it's at the bottom left there.
But yeah, this is Hard Rock 3, Yori Zero by Reku Mochizuki. This is the CS 6.5 Hard Rock pick here. And a pick that is, I think, getting a little bit of renewed attention after the top diff got another Hard Rock FC by Rectagon recently. This is not that top diff, this is a lower 6-star difficulty, but of course still very hard with Hard Rock put on to this map. 185 BPM, slider aim and reading. And with the map being made by Yugu, I think a lot of players who are familiar with his mapping style will probably understand that even though the sliders in this map are not particularly ridiculous, he still finds ways to make it pretty tricky to read them regardless.
Yeah, and I think this is a classic China pick. Going straight into that CS 6.5, you know, they're just so good at these gimmicky kind of skill sets. And with the double ban last weekend from Countryless West on aim kind of maps, you know, we can pretty much assume maybe their aim consistency isn't something they're the most comfortable with. You know, throw any team on a CS 6.5 that doesn't feel super comfortable on their aim consistency, and you're probably going to get some good results from picking it into them. So no slouch from China here. I'm expecting some pretty good scores. A breakpoint would be surprising to me, but you know, Countryless West could do it. They're going to have Riot coming in, absolute monster on the Hard Rocks.
One thing to know for Countryless West on this pick in particular, last weekend they were the second best score on the CS 6.5 map. Now that map, a little bit different in style from this one. Last week's CS 6.5 pick in Hard Rock was pretty much all pattern aim and polygonal jump aim rather than something like this where you've got a lot of slider aim. But the point still stands. This is a team that under the right conditions can perform very, very well. I mean, average 900k per player on the CS 6.5 picks in Hard Rock here. So definitely, I think it would surprise a little bit to see a breakpoint because of the type of map, like you said, kind of a classic pick for China. These three players, you think about, you know, who is really good at tech maps in this tournament, and all three of them can come to mind. These three players in particular on the side of China, but this particular slot is something that Countryless West has done very well in before. Let's see if they can upset. It's off to a rocky start for both teams, it looks like.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I mean, yeah, like you said here, we're gonna have early breaks from China as well as Countryless West, but still 3 FCs on the board, only 1 on the side of China. So Countryless West off to a good start. It's what they want. This map is relatively short as we already approach the quarter-way mark. But 1 FC either side now. And things are looking pretty close as we get to the first break. Players are going to see the scoreboards on the side there. So a couple nerves building for LOL234 and Riot. They know they need to hold on to these FCs as we approach this Ki.
Unfortunately, a drop from Kurumi there, LOL234. Matched by Donut with another drop for Countryless West, but that's not the player you want to look to drop. It's Riot on the side of Countryless West, the player that China was looking for a drop from, and he does find that combo break. Crystal still holding on alongside Kurumi right now, and Milk Tea, actually. All of the Chinese players making it through that Ki time now swings the score far and away in their favor. This is a massive combo lead now for China, as unfortunately Countryless West just kind of falls apart in the middle of the map. No 900k average this time around for sure. This is Crystal and Kurumi right now stealing the show here, approaching the last final bit of the map.
Yeah, I mean, even if Riot was to hold on to that FC, it doesn't look like it would have been near enough. But oh, mind you, with that 3-way reset, maybe it would have been, but still something huge to expect from him. You can't really expect that after breaking about halfway through the map to pull out an FC, especially on a map of this difficulty. But full resets across the board. No FCs anywhere, but some very impressive and consistent scores all around from China. So everyone's sitting around that 500k mark. I mean, yeah, just a great pick. It went about as we expected it to go.
Yeah, very solid overall pick from China. Exactly the kind of map I think that you want to see them pick into. Not only, generally their type of map being relatively tech focused, but also something, again, a slot that Countryless West had a very good time of last week, once again taken away from them through this pick strategy by China and by some of the variants in the map pools from weekend to weekend, right? You don't just get the exact same types of maps in every single slot every weekend. And an adaptation to that and the matchups that you get on those types of different pools can make or break a team. And this pool right now is looking very, very good for China. They are looking very well prepared. One thing to note with this matchup is it was delayed by 15 minutes because of some difficulties from Countryless West. I'm not sure exactly the reason for the delay, but they did have to delay the match 15 minutes for Countryless West. So maybe having some troubles getting everybody completely ready for this matchup, but regardless, China just looking incredibly well prepared, and I think reminding people why they were initially favored to win this tournament, or at least one of the teams favored to break into that top 3 barrier after a pretty lackluster performance in qualifiers and being knocked down by France, one of the other initial contenders to break top 3 last weekend in quarterfinals. So definitely showing up this weekend here in semis.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we are going to see the hidden 2 coming out from Countryless West, but, my question was, what really can they go into? Because we're looking at last week's stats, and like we talked about in the pregame, pretty much every single map that both of these teams played had extremely close score lines, all under 100k difference. So you're looking at stats from last week as Countryless West, and you're like, well, what the hell do we go into? And I mean, they're going to be opting for the hidden 2, the hidden gimmicky tech map they're going to be going into. And I mean, they did play the hidden 2 slot last week with a score of 1.8 million, so nothing to scoff at. No real FCs on the board there, but still a pretty good score all around. And of course, with map pool changes each week, maybe this is something they're feeling more comfortable on, but this is still scary going into China. I mean, you're picking a gimmicky kind of hidden map, and I feel like this is going to be a bit coin flippy, if I'm honest. We could very well see another breakpoint coming through from China on a map like this.
I definitely agree. This is probably a coin flippy kind of map. You look at stuff like the free mod one from last weekend, for example, very similar type of map, albeit higher BPM than something like this. They had scores within 100k of each other. You look at the No Mod 3 from last weekend, more circle focused rather than slider focused. This map does have a little bit of those tech elements in it, and obviously No Mod as well, but again, less than 100k apart from each other on that map. And so it gives a little pause as to whether this is really like a power pick for Countryless West or whether they just have really good scores on it or exactly what's going on there. Not sure what's going on with the map loading in as well. I think one of the players or a couple players might be having some connection troubles, as some of the players seem to be stuck in the loading screen also, alongside us here. Yeah, it seems Milk Tea is lagging, lol233, so hopefully we'll get that reset, but yeah, definitely a pick I think is a little bit of a toss-up. To talk a little bit about the map, since we are probably going to get an abort real quick before we go in. Very similar to some of the hidden 2s that we've seen in previous weeks, and a hidden 2 that kind of continues the high spacing alt patterning plus slider velocity type of mapping that you've seen from week to week in that hidden 2 slot, kind of over and over again in this tournament. One of the few slots with very little variance from week to week. This map in particular is a must-play with video on and storyboards on. If you don't play it at least once with those settings, you are missing out. It's glorious.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfie actually rolling a 99 in the chat. That's pretty impressive. I mean, like, yeah, this is sort of, I feel like, I don't know how to word this. This is a pick that, like, I feel like Countryless West are kind of just going for it. Like we said, a bit coin flippy. I think they definitely are probably feeling a little bit outclassed right now by China. I think that's clear. China are very, very well prepared for this match. And, maybe they're just kind of throwing something out there. Like you mentioned, probably good scores on the sheet. They're like, hey, this hidden 2, this looks really good for us. Maybe China's going to be absolutely nuts on it, but, maybe we can pull these scores out that we've got on the sheet. Maybe we can get a 2 AFC. Maybe we can really just show up and perform on this one. And I mean, they're really hoping to just some sort of miraculous performance, you know, to get a point on this board and actually contest China here, because, I mean, China are looking unfaulted so far.
And already see multiple early breaks for both sides. Wolfie and Ramon 2 having broken for Countryless West. Lolo 235 and 233 having broken for China. Crystal and Rebo, the two full combos left on the board at the moment. Any shift in combo at all completely changes the scoreline right now, though, as the supporting combos are basically the same for both teams. There goes Crystal, though. Rebo still holding on, and the longer Rebo holds, the bigger the score lead gets. Only about 70, 80k right now for Countryless West, but climbing very quickly.
Yeah, Crystal getting caught off by that slider stack. Like, they were like single slider stacks, maybe on like a 1/3 tick. That was very awkward. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be catching him off. Going to be getting slider break, maybe tapping too early on those. And Rebo now, all eyes on him as he holds onto this FC for Countryless West, followed by two very strong supporting combos on Ramon 2 and Wolfie. And Crystal again going to be getting that drop. We just got that combo now from Lolo 233 with 480 and... Sorry, apologies. I was thinking the wrong person. It was Crystal. My bad. These Lolo names, man. I can't do it.
Too many Lolos. Too many Lolos, and they are punished for the name changes with Milk Tea, unfortunately, the original, not being able to hold on to that high combo. Had about 580 combo before everybody had broken at this point. We got that 6-way reset from both teams here going into the ending. And despite that extra high combo on the side of Milk Tea, Rebo's earlier really good combo for Countryless West is going to carry them over the finish line, about an 80,000 score lead by the end of the map there. Really solid stuff from Rebo in particular. As you see both Ramon 2 and Wolfie just over that 400k mark. Crystal and Milk Tea both right around 500k. We shouted them out as kind of that dynamic duo for China. You look to them on the vast majority of these picks for China that they go for to be the carry performers for the team, and either, you know, one of the other four players really to just join in as the third fill player for this squad with such two strong players as their duo. It's really making sense exactly why this team is so strong, but Rebo with the standout performance, more than able to carry Countryless West to the win.
Yeah, I mean, pretty all-round expected performances from most of those players, 400 to 500k, but Rebo really just putting up that hero performance that Countryless West needed to get them on the board here. They're going to be taking their first point of the match. And I mean, yeah, great stuff from him. Almost a 700k score on a map like that. Nothing to scoff at. Very, very, very impressive stuff from him. And we are going to be going straight into the No Mod 3 from China. That is an insta-pick if I've ever seen one. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This song might sound familiar to some people. If you remember the Countryless Open 2020 and you were around in the semifinals weekend of that tournament, you may have already played this one at least once in a tournament match. It is custom mapped for the Countryless Open back in 2020 in that semifinals weekend, and was a No Mod 3 for that tournament as well. Relatively high BPM No Mod 3, 152 BPM for this alt pick. I think still kind of in the era of alt maps where a lot of tournaments were kind of going for high spacing and lower aim control on some of these picks, but the 1/3 in this map can be really nasty, and the transitions into those high spacing sections can really throw off the aim control for a lot of players. So a map that kind of blends a bit of the more modern style in, and especially from a tournament that helped usher in a lot of custom maps, kind of expected that it does go that route.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with this map, have played it a few times myself in tournaments as well, and as you mentioned, yeah, this is definitely more on the flowy side of things. Absolutely not a very snap aim oriented No Mod 3. A lot of kind of accelerating, kind of sometimes funny wiggle patterns in these KIs, and very, very high spacing, as you mentioned. This type of map, No Mod 3s are usually very hard to hold combo on, especially in a tournament setting. Like, No Mod 3s are some of the hardest maps to hold combos on, especially to pull out an FC. And this one, I mean, this one speaks for itself. It is no excuse. This map is ridiculous to hold combo on through these KIs. The spacing is ridiculous, and some of the transitions are pretty damn tricky. So I'm Curious to see if anyone can pull out a amazing score here. It would be very impressive to watch.
By the way, for the very first time, we have the triple Lolol roster in here for China. First time this match. As a reminder, Lolol 233 is Milk Tea, Lolol 234 is Karumi, and Lolol 235 is David. If we end up calling them by those names instead of by their numbers, just for all of the viewers out there.
I'm absolutely going to forget that, like, almost immediately. I think I'm just going to use the numbers here.
Oh, Lord.
Far out.
Yeah, kind of slow intro to this map. I think this is really going to be one of those picks that comes down to the key eye times. As it picks up, sure, the in-between sections get harder, but they never really get too close to the difficulty you find in the key eyes of this map. Unless you're talking about some of the 1/3 jumps that maybe some players struggle with. But yeah, all of the really difficult alt patterns are found in those key eyes in this map.
Yeah, pretty much free combo all the way up to the first key eye, but are going to be approaching it right now. China with a very slight accuracy advantage, and now we get into this first key eye. As you can see, some of these high spacing patterns coming into play, a bit of accelerating streams, but that is going to be Riot, the first to be caught off guard on the side of Countryless West. Going to be dropping the only FC in the lobby, still 5 standing. And now China, they get through that first key eye with a 3-way, and it's looking really good for them as we already approach halfway through the map.
Not too far behind for Countryless West at the very least. Only one. Oh, that's a little sad. No. Really awful timing on the slider. Yeah, really awful timing on the slider break from Unexpected. Thank you, Mavs. Yeah, that sucks. Lolol is just popping off right now. Simultaneously 99.3, 99, and 98.6 accuracy for Lolol right now on this map. And with that slider break from Rebo, this map is just completely over. No combo for Countryless West, and 3-way full combo for China right now.
What is this performance from China? This is
it's
unbelievable.
the Lolol name buff right now.
1,000 combo on this map is pretty damn good. I mean, like, if one of these players was to get 1,000 combo, I'd be impressed. And 3 of them are just going right now, but there goes Lolo, number 235. Another double reset on the side of Countryless West, but they still with a 2-way on China. This is absolutely insane, and this is one of the hardest parts of the map right now. But they are still just going with these combos. Oh, and there goes Lolo 233. It's just Lolo 234 now. The last of the Lolos. Can he close out the FC for China, as they've pretty much done enough to secure this pick?
They've done more than enough. I mean, this is 700k, right? Like, they got to double the score for Countryless West to come back in this map, and that ain't happening in this last less than a quarter of map. So the only question is whether Kurumi finishes out the FC right now. I do want to talk about a little bit here. China seeing. Oh, that's a little sad. No FC. I tried to just change the topic, not talk about it.
I didn't want to say anything.
But unfortunate the miss there for LOL234. It is kind of ballsy on paper for China to lose the Hidden 2 and then instantly pick Nomad 3 right afterwards, right? Very, very similar types of maps in this pool in particular with how this Nomad 3 plays. But I think a pretty well-calculated pick from China regardless, because of the fact that, frankly speaking, Countryless West has not been very good on these Nomad 3s. China did not have a good performance on Nomad 3 last weekend either, but clearly this type of Nomad 3 very well suited to their overall roster, very clearly preferring the Flomamy types of Nomad 3s over the more aim control focused snap aim alt maps you see in 2021, 2022. So very well done from them.
I mean, they're 2 players, both on 681k, and then the very, very close FC from LOL234, but pretty much there. So that is an extremely impressive score. I'm gonna probably assume that's most likely going to be the best Nomad 3 score we will see this weekend. But you know, maybe a team will step up and prove me wrong. Back over to Countryless West, however, and they're going to be really needing to pick up their second point here, as you don't want China to be getting to match point on a 5-1 scoreline, that's for sure.
All right, they're going to go with the double time 4. I'm not sure how much we like this pick after what happened on double time 2 earlier in this map. These two maps are very similar, with the exception of double time 4 being a little bit lower BPM and a little higher approach rate. I guess a little bit less of a focus on doubles in this map and some more bursts overall in this pick, but I mean, you're splitting hairs at this point. This is still a finger control map in DT. It is 217.5 BPM and AR 10.1. You're not getting too much different of a pick from what happened on double time 2, so Countryless West really saying, okay, speed players, go practice in solo, make sure you're ready for this pick during that last no mod 3 pick, and maybe throwing the map a little bit in order to get a guaranteed point here on the double time 4. I know I've done that in tournament before, right? Just say, all right, what's our next pick? We're going with this map? Okay, all of you go practice in solo, and we'll just tank this map so that you have the time to practice in solo. And lo and behold, I think that is a completely different roster from Countryless West on this pick. No, just Riot as the only player to come back in for Countryless West on this map. Ever so slightly different roster from the double time 2 pick as well. Ramon 2 subbing out for Riot on this map. So Riot, both the only member from the last pick and the only member to sub in comparison to double time 2. So we'll see how this one goes for Countryless West. Really looking forward to seeing exactly what they can do on this map. If they are able to take this pick, I think it makes the match at least a little bit more interesting. You open up things like the double time 1, for example, or no mod 2 as well, which might be a good pick in this case, with it being 200 BPM this weekend. But a loss here is almost certainly a win for China, with that match point up 5-1 with the next pick.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning, like, on paper at least, both these teams played the DT4 last week, and it was only a 9k difference. Both teams sitting roughly around 2.75 million, so almost 3 ways on the board for both of these teams last week. So, I mean, but with how China is performing today, I would not be surprised for them to take this break point yet again. But, I mean, Countryless West need it. But it's not off to a good start with those early breaks from Darnit and Wolfie. Only 1 FC on the board already for Countryless West, as China are just holding onto that 3-way yet again. And it's just the no mod 3 story. Oh man, Countryless West have no FCs.
This pick just looks too similar to double time 2, man. You know, it's not the exact same type of double spam sort of finger control map, but it is certainly looking similar overall in the combos for both of these teams. China looking just as comfortable on the accuracy as Countryless West. Once again, actually higher overall AC for basically every member here for China. And again, like you said, still on the 3-way full combo compared to, you know, one good combo from Wolfie, but the resets extra from Adana and Riot, just a little bit too much to make the score close right now. Already 400k up for China.
Yeah, this is already looking gone. I mean, Countryless West needs an absolute miracle. They need God to come down and touch them or something. This is ridiculous. I mean, Crystal's going to be the first to drop on the side of China. They've still got a 2-way FC. And, I mean, there's just nothing left in the tank here for Countryless West. They got Riot on a combo, but they've got that 2-way on the side of China. Lola 233 and 234. Going to be looking to close this one out with, I mean, that accuracy from Lola 233, the 99.5%. This is unbelievable stuff from them. They are just playing out of their minds today. They came prepared, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really dominant performance from China overall. You know, they lost one map by like 70k or less than 100k on the Hidden 2, and every other pick has gone in their favor. The last one by almost 1 million team score. You know, 300,000, 400,000. The Hidden 3 was actually fairly close, but the overall scores were so small that I think it's fair to call 126,000 score difference on that map actually a pretty wide margin of difference on the Hidden 3. I mean, I think...
Yeah, when you put it that way, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Countryless West score overall was 800k on that map, so 126,000 is actually 1/8 of their overall score, actually kind of significant. But I think it's partially a combination of this map pool is very, very good for China right? They ban out Double Time 3 and No Mod 5, and suddenly all the speed maps that are left are just only the finger control picks. Double Time 2 finger control and Double Time 4 finger control. Double Time 1 is an aim map, so you don't really count it most of the time when you're talking about speed picks. There is no other speed in the pool aside from those maps, so you're left with only finger control speed picks, which China is very good at. And then again, the Hard Rock 3 pick, we talked about being techie and favoring China a little bit in that regard, with the type of players that they have on this roster. The Hidden 3 map being basically, you know, low elo no mod 6, but AR8 with Hidden on it, right? Like...
yeah, low elo no mod 6. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is, right? That is the type of map that is in Hidden 3 this weekend. So I think all of these kinds of variables lined up really well for China this weekend. And at the same time, you have some team issues going on for Countryless West, causing like a 15-minute delay. This match, in general, this whole matchup has just been really rough for Countryless West. And as much as I want to see them pop off on this pick, I think this is probably the one map that China has the single biggest advantage on left in this pool. Free Mod 1, this combines all of the really wonky, ulti stuff you saw in No Mod 3 with some more modern, wiggly stuff mapped by Halia, and a really tough to read sort of patterning on either Hidden or Hard Rock. So I think this is a really solid pick for China. And I just, at this point, want to see what they can do with the pick, because they have been popping off all match long. And I want to see some good scores from either team on this map.
Yeah, interesting to note too is Countryless West actually asked China to pick this. But mind you, I still favor China very heavily on a map like this. And I mean, yeah, hopefully we see some good scores to close things out. Countryless West probably just wanting to play the map because it's fun. That's fair enough.
It is fun.
It is going to be match point for China, so we'll get to see if they close this one out here at 6-1 scoreline. But maybe Countryless West can pull something through. Maybe they can put up some really good performances.
Well, we'll see how it goes here. Lolo 2-3-3, 2-3-4, and 2-3-5 in once again for this map. Manifesting the power of Lolo for this final pick, what they hope is a final pick from the side of China. Rebo, Ramon 2, and Riot. The triple R lineup for Countryless West also.
This is a caster's nightmare. What's happening?
Man. It really is. 3 names on Countryless West that start with the same letter, and 3 names that start with Lolo on the side of China.
3 names that are the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for us and for the teams on this map. Yeah, I think we should be getting into it in just a moment. Not sure exactly what the holdup is. Maybe somebody's just not ready. But I think we should be getting into it in just a second here. Mod combinations. That's a thing. Looking for maybe Hard Rock for Karumi, Hidden for David. I think that's the way that goes. I'm pretty sure that's the way that goes. Maybe Milk Tea goes Hidden, or maybe Milk Tea goes no mod, just to round it out for the team for China. A note with this tournament, you don't need 2 unique mods. You can just have any 2 mods on your team. So double Hard Rock is good, double Hidden is good. I believe Hammy is DC'd. That's what's happening right now. Okay.
You know what I feel like we need? I feel like we need like a text source in OBS just to like label these players' names just like above their play windows. Just like Milk Tea, Karumi.
Actually,
I mean, I'm not remembering this. I'm forgetting 5 seconds after.
Oh my lord!
I'm just gonna call them lol 3 numbers. But I think something we can talk about here as we wait for Hammy to return is both teams actually playing the Free Mod 1 last week. However, I do believe the Free Mod 1s from the Free Mod 1 from last week comparison to this week, they are a bit different. But I mean, still worth talking about the score difference of about 60k last week between these 2 teams on the Free Mod 1. China coming out on top with that 2.2 million score. So if that's anything to go off, China looking at a little bit favored in this one. But I think just because of the map in general, the type of map it is, we are looking at China to be pretty heavily favored in this one, especially with how they're playing today.
Yeah, I think also with Countryless West, just generally, like, I mean, they're just not having a good time, man. They're just straight up not having a good time with this match. It's been a little bit rough for them, I think, all throughout this match. So I hope that they are able to pull out a solid comeback here. But with how this match has been going so far, you're really just looking at trying to close this out strongly. And again, kind of remind people why they were in the conversation for top 3 at the start of this tournament, right? This is a team that definitely has the potential to go far. And so I hope that they are able to show that off this weekend. Currently top 12 finish for China and for Countryless West in this matchup. Winner is top 8, and loser exits the tournament in top 12. So Countryless West here fighting for a top 8 spot.
Yeah, and I mean, assuming this goes the way of China and we see Countryless West getting knocked out of the tournament, of course, this is a loser bracket match. Excuse me, for anyone unfamiliar in the chat. You know, seeing Countryless West go out here, I don't want to say it's an underperformance from them, because I mean, they are going up against China. I mean, it is what it is. This was either China or France. It's just brutal. But, you know, I could see Countryless West going further in this tournament. Their team is extremely strong on a lot of these raw mechanical picks. It's just unfortunate circumstances for them this week on this type of pool against a team like China. Can you really blame them? Could you really blame any team in the tournament in their position? I think almost any team up against China this week is in for a rough one. And I mean, they're going to have to play out of their minds to hope to take China down, especially on a pool like this. But we are finally going to be getting into it. Hammy has returned after that quick little little detour there. But match point now for China as we get into this free mod 1. And it's actually going to be a double hidden on the side of China. Countryless West with the only hard rock in the lobby. Rebo with that hidden on their side.
I don't mind double hidden on this map too much, actually. Given the fact that it is AR 9.7. You can see the patterning, and I think if the approach rate were any lower, this type of patterning would just not be conducive to hidden whatsoever. But AR 9.7 is so comfortable for basically everybody on
hidden. You mean hidden 3?
Yeah, exactly. So with that said, the higher approach rate on this map definitely helps make these sorts of patterns doable on hidden, and you can see exactly why you would be wary to take hidden on this if it were lower approach rate, with all the types of overlapping stream patterns that are so easy to mess up on, like for LOL 234 there going into this first KI time.
Some of those patterns look ridiculous with hidden. I mean, they just look ridiculous with no mod. With some of these overlaps, like with hidden, very, very easy to misaim, misjudge some of these notes, and these wiggles. The wiggles are pretty comfortable, to be honest. Very, very satisfying to hit. Big fan of this map. There's going to be a drop there from LOL234. Rebo as well. We've got 1 FC on the side of Countryless West. China still holding onto that 2-way, but not anymore with that break from LOL233. And we've got 4 resets on the board now, 1 FC to 1, and it's about 100k score difference, so if things continue to trend the way they are, China will slowly pull this one over. I mean, also worth mentioning the mod advantage here for LOL235 on the side of China. So there is 1 FC to 1, but that mod advantage is going to slightly favor the side of China. Accuracy is pretty much identical. Oh, but not with that drop there.
Yeah, that break for LOL235, also known as David Q2, does make this comebackable for Countryless West. Both Revo and Riot have dropped, though, and now that supporting combo from Milk Tea and Kurumi, LOL233 and 234 respectively, is keeping this on the side of China for the time being. Ramon 2 really having to pop off with this map. Hammy TR, the player who had disconnected at the start of this map, maybe gonna need to carry the team on this no-mod play right now, and looking able to do so as the score ever so slowly coming back over to the side of Countryless West.
Ever so slightly, but still saw it trending to the left there. I don't know if that was maybe some accuracy struggles from Ramon too, but I think he will have enough in the tank here if he closes out this FC. We are approaching the very end, especially with that break from Lolo234. That's going to rocket right over to Countryless West now. So Ramon 2 looks to close out this FC for Countryless West, and there goes all of China. It's pretty much free reign now as he closes this one out for Countryless West. What a score from Ramon 2, the No-Mod FC.
Absolutely necessary FC to 370k for Riot on the Hard Rock. Really struggling with the Hard Rock there for Riot. And 470k for Rebo, matching the hidden from Lolo234. But, I mean, the supporting scores from Lolo233 and 235, both right at that 600k mark, really necessitate the carry performance from Ramon 2 on that pick. Really solid job from him to keep Countryless West in this match. And you can see why we were talking about this pick for China. The overall team performance, very, very solid for multiple members on China. But that pop-off performance from Ramon 2 just completely negates the multiple 600Ks they had.
Ramon 2 actually is cracking me up there. I just FC'd him out while crying. It just cracked me up. Oh, man. What a score from him, though. That's unbelievable stuff. That map does not look easy. A lot of those kind of overlaps. I mean, you slap mods on that, and I think it makes it quite a bit more difficult. But, I mean, the No-Mod FC is still extremely impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
we now are going to be moving over to their pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, even the No-Mod player for China, right, did not full combo that map. Got around 600k. So, like,
yeah.
Very, very good score for Hammy on that map. Very, very solid stuff. Good to see him able to play the map after that DC incident and pop off as he wanted to on that pick. Looking forward to the next pick for Countryless West, I think. I don't actually know what they want to pick here. Maybe the double time 1, actually. It is pickable. No-Mod 2 is also up and is pickable. I think after you have had, several players do pretty well on some of the flow-amy stuff here for Countryless West. No-Mod 2 is not bad. And they are going to go with it. Okay.
Yeah. It's got to be the No-Mod 2. Like, I mean, DT1 is an option, like you were saying. China did ban DT1 last week, but so did Countryless West. I mean, but more that generic, raw mechanical stuff like we were talking about earlier, it is something Countryless West need to lean into. I mean, against a team like China, it's pretty much all they've got. I mean, are you going to win these gimmicky picks? Probably not. Maybe off the back of the hero performance, like we just saw, but, it's hard.
I mean, I think it says a lot that both of the maps that Countryless West has won so far have been off the back of, like you said, hero performances by singular players rather than off of an overall better team performance for the median player on the team, right? Rebo getting 673k on the Hidden 2, won them to pick by only 80,000 score. And Hammy now full comboing that with No-Mod, wins them the pick by only 130,000 score. A completely necessary full combo carry from Hammy on that map. So I think, staying away from the gimmick stuff, just pick mechanics against this team from China. Maybe you're not as comfortable on it as a team overall, but you can be damn sure that it's not China's comfort pick either. So definitely something worth picking against this team.
And any insight on this No-Mod 2 as we wait for players to load in for this one?
Yeah,
not too familiar with this map myself.
So this was I believe this was a custom map for a different tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But 200 BPM, 6.9 stars on this pick. Yes, this was custom for OTST 6 in the finals round of that tournament. Really tricky flow aim stuff with 200 BPM streams. These types of corners are the tough parts of the flow aim in this pick until you get to the ending where the spacing starts to become the hard part, as is pretty typical in No-Mod 2. But up until that point, you're really looking at the cornering and the 200 BPM stamina in this pick as the main source of difficulty. Everybody so far handling those difficulty strains fairly well. Nobody misaiming any of the corners or dropping any stamina so far. You do see a little bit of an ACK lead for the side of, well, basically nobody. It's just swapping back and forth as the moment as My Angel Anzu drops a ton of hundreds there and drops the slider break. Actually, so not able to hold on to the full combo early on into the map this first quarter now, going the way of Countryless West.
And this is actually interesting as well to note, didn't quite pick up on it earlier, but 2 players here for China coming in for their first map this match. My Angel Anzu and Shizaki Kanon are actually coming in for their first maps this match. So, you know, those stamina players for China coming in for the number 2 as expected. But this 3-way from Countryless West, it's looking pretty damn strong. Still a 2-way on the side of China, but that drop from My Angel Anzu is going to, I mean, it's going to do a lot for Countryless West to continue to hold on to these combos, and they will pull that score over more and more as this map continues. We are only about a third of the way through, so still a lot of map left, a lot of room for things to change. No one tripping up on those 1/3s on either team. No one over-tapping on anything silly of the sorts. No nerves getting to the players here. I mean, My Angel Anzu is making a good recovery.
As you say that, though, drops the combo once again, misaiming on the 1/3 streams during this section. Slowdown part with the 1/3s, deceptively easy to just trip up randomly on. If you're not still on point with your cursor control during this section, you may just not be able to hold on to the combo overall. And that's exactly what happens to My Angel Anzu during this section. Now we get into the last third of this pick here. Still a 3-way full combo for Countryless West. And now a drop for Shizaki Kanon as well. Look at the shake on that cursor, man. First time map nerves of the day. First map of the day nerves are just hit different for a lot of players. And unfortunately seem to be hitting different for Shizaki Kanon right now. Lolo233 Milk Tea still holding the only FC for China, but for not right now.
Yeah, and I mean, My Angel Anzu actually, I mean, just struggling pretty heavy on this map. And it's not even that I feel like he's doing bad. Mind you, he's having some axe struggles off the back of a few chain misses, but just an early break from him, it's just going to put his score in such a deficit in comparison to the rest of the lobby as they all continue to hold on to their FCs. I mean, Countryless West, they're looking damn good right now, and I mean, this sure as hell is going to be a confidence booster. We might have a match on our hands, Dio.
I was just wondering, I know this is a very serious moment and all that. How is Shizaki Kanon hitting anything right now, Matt? Are you looking at this cursor? I'm sorry. I can't stop staring at that cursor. That is some shake.
Yeah.
But yeah, we might actually have a match on our hands. We'll see how this next pick for China goes. This will be China's last pick on this next map after what has been a very solid start to a comeback from Countryless West. Now only down 3-5, much better than the 1-5 they were down 2 maps ago. With a full combo from Ramon 2, 2 full combos in a row for this guy, by the way, pulling on the carry pants during that DC, I suppose. Just taking some time to switch out the pants real quick for the carry pants and come in when the team needs him the most. Unlike the Avatar, actually here when they need him the most.
Incredible scores all around from Countryless West. I mean, a good performance from Lolo233, but just didn't have the supporting combos to really back up his performance there. And I mean, looking at these maps now, do we really have any gimmick maps left? I mean, we've got the Snow Mod 4. I just realized.
But
it's actually going to be Hidden 1 from China.
It's going to be Hidden 1. Yeah, you don't normally think a Hidden 1 is like a gimmick map, right? This map, I think, is, again, another bit of variance in the map pool that might end up favoring China a little bit. Very bursty sort of Hidden 1 with some weird flowy stuff sometimes within the burst. No long streams and no ulti stuff. Of course, it is 210 BPM, so you're not really expecting a ton of alt patterns unless there are some 1/3s, which you do have some red tick stuff going on at the beginning. That's what Ramon 2 is talking about on this map. But very much so a lot of wide angle jumps, flow aim jumps, and weird flow aimy bursts at 210, which can be super, super awkward, especially on AR 9.3 with Hidden. So right up China's alley once again. We're going to have to see if Countryless West can do well on this. They have won one of the Hidden picks so far in this matchup. Let's see if they can make it 2.
Yeah, I mean, 1 map at a time is the mindset right now for Countryless West, as they've managed to take 2 picks and they've only got 2 to go. A break point on this map against China is going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is looking China favored for sure. But if Countryless West can do it, they're in a pretty good spot to go into another mechanics pick. I mean, hey, they're going to have some good confidence after that No Mod 2. They played extremely well, and they're going to have confidence going into another mechanics pick. And I mean, they've got options. They've got a No Mod 1. They've got a DT1. You know, they've got a Hard Rock 1 if they want to opt into that as well. So mechanic picks are there. They just need to get through China on this hidden one. I don't know if they can do it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see another hero performance come out. Maybe from Hammy, maybe from one of the other players.
It's off to a good start so far for Countryless West. Early break for Milk Tea, usually a pretty indomitable player for this China roster. Everyone misses it besides Wolfie.
It's just Wolfie.
It's just Wolfie.
He's laughing right now.
GG.
He sees the scoreboard. GG, yeah. He's actually pissing himself.
Oh my god. That's too funny, man. Yeah, that's that red tick pattern I was talking about. All completely new BPM red ticks for that alt pattern. So all variable BPM during that section, and yeah, just completely impossible to hit with him, as you can see. The rest of this map, I think, is going to even out a little bit, but it is going to give Countryless West some free combo here at the start of the map, right? Wolfie just with a straight-up 120 combo lead over the next best combo in the lobby.
You know, the most impressive part is I don't think he even mashed through that. It looks like he hit it pretty well. I mean, he's probably practiced it a bunch, I guess. Maybe playing it just before, maybe playing the map just before the lobby. Maybe no one else really did. So.
I mean, it is right at the beginning of the map, right? You can totally do that.
Rebo actually with a combo drop, and that's going to be huge for China as they will start to slowly pull things back over. But Wolfie is going to be gone for Countryless West, and that's the combo you did not want to see drop on their side. China now, they pull through with a three-way reverse choke, all sitting at about 600 combos. We get into this Ki about halfway through the map, and they're all looking pretty comfortable.
And that's what we were talking about at the start of this map, right? Is that this is still going to be a tough pick for Countryless West to win up against China. You can see the burst emphasis in this map compared to other hidden ones in previous weeks. You still have sections like this where you're looking at a lot of awkward aim, and it does trip up LOL 235 in this section, but a lot of these 210 BPM bursts have a lot of really tricky flow aim to them, and that is what tripped up the members of Countryless West earlier. LOL 233 and Crystal still holding identical combo to Ramon 2 as well. And so this score lead not going anywhere for China at the moment. That reset from LOL 235 does make it so Wolfie and Rebo's combined supporting combos can start to pull some weight for Countryless West, but I don't think it's going to be enough to switch the score back over anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, Countryless West right now, they're banking on another break from China, and there it is, Crystal. Gonna be dropping in this slower section of the map, mind you, still pretty difficult, but those combos from Countryless West are gone. Ramon 2 and Rebo are gone, and now it's just LOL 233 with a way bigger combo than Wolfie, and yeah, there goes Wolfie too. It's just LOL 233 with the only combo in the entire lobby, and that score lead is going to rocket over to the side of China. Assuming he continues to hold, if we want any hope for Countryless West here, they need LOL 233 to break, like, now.
Well, there it is. Okay, there's a break right now. It's less than 100,000 for China right now. Wolfie and Ramon 2 both slide a break at the exact same time. You cannot write a better script than this.
Wait,
what is that timing on that break? Oh my god. It still breaks from China though at the same time. Rebo still has some combo, but LOL 233 is matching, and Ramon 2 and Wolfie find more breaks here near the end. I think the nerves may be getting to them, and as we come up on the very last meniscus of this map here, this just tiny little bit right at the end, I don't think there's going to be enough juice in the tank for Rebo to bring it home, especially not with that break. And unfortunately, Countryless West not going to be able to pull off the miracle run comeback in this map. It is going to go over to China for the 6-3 victory.
What a way to close down. Absolute circus performance from everyone at the end of that map. I mean, I can't really blame them with how ridiculous some of those patterns look, but it was still hilarious nonetheless to see break after break after break. Rebo putting in a good effort at the very end there to pull it back. Maybe if there was some more time in the map and he managed to hold on to that combo, he would have been able to swing things back over, but that's unfortunately not enough in the tank for Countryless West. And I mean, yeah, China closing it out 6-3 in a pretty dominating fashion, I would say, all in all.
very solid overall performance for both teams by the end of this. I think Countryless West kind of finding their footing, finding their warm-up maybe a little bit in the latter stages of this match. But China, with the preparation, with a really solid run through this whole map pool, just showing what it means to be one of the top 8 teams in this tournament. Originally, about 24-ish teams qualifying or playing the qualifiers for this tournament. 25 teams playing the qualifiers for this tournament. China now officially matching their qualifier seeding as one of the top 8 teams in the tournament and knocking out Countryless West, who originally seeded 3rd out of qualifiers and found themselves in the losers bracket after an unlucky run-up against Sweden in the round of 16. So unlucky bracket run for Countryless West up against both Australia and China in the quarterfinals and semifinals here. Now finally finding their end to the tournament as China advance on into the second round of losers bracket this weekend.
Yeah, and matchups-wise, it's gonna be... I mean, who are we looking at here? We're looking at either Poland or Japan? Yeah, looking at either Poland or Japan here for China's matchup. So, I mean, both really difficult matches. If I had to guess, probably Japan, with how they've been performing in this tournament so far. So, China versus Japan matchup. I mean, it'll be a pretty good one. Nonetheless, I still think China are favored on this map pool, pretty much up against almost any team in this tournament right now.
Yeah. China looking really incredible on this map pool, frankly speaking. I mean, this is definitely a China map pool. There are a lot of picks that I think are favored towards them on this pool as compared to previous weeks. And I think that's part of the reason why they showed up so well today, and why they will continue to show up in their next matchup this weekend. That is going to do it for us here on this match in particular. If you want to see the other matches that we have this weekend for you, you can join the Discord, or you can follow this channel here to get notified whenever we go live with the other matches in the tournament. Discord also has all the information on the rest of the tournament, the map pools, schedules for further weekends, etc. So join that if you want to keep track of the tournament. Otherwise, we'll see you back here for our next matchup, which will be later today at 13 UTC with Indonesia versus South Korea. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Mavs, for casting alongside me. We'll see you all next time.
Take care.